I'm not sure to start. Been lurking here for a couple weeks since I found out about my wife's infidelity. This is our second day. I'm 33 male and she's 34 female. We met in 2014. She was my first love. I've dated other people before, but I felt like she was the one. I got out of the military and we got married in 2016. Things seemed to be going well, or so I thought. I found a job in 2017 and was put into the graveyard shift almost straight away. Not my choice, but we needed the money. Now fast forward to Nov 2019. One night she seemed depressed, so I went to talk to her, and she confessed that she had a one-year affair with one of her friends. I had my suspicions. She would hang out with him a lot alone and come home drunk. I asked if anything was going on, but she told me, "He's just a friend going through a rough time." I wanted to trust her and could not imagine she would do that, so I believed her. By the time she confessed, she said the affair had been over for a few months. I was devastated, asked her to cut all contact, and to the best of my knowledge she did. We decided to work on things. I asked her about details, and she was forthcoming with the info. She seemed truly remorseful and to want to fix this situation. Shortly after this, the pandemic happened, and I was laid off. She was teaching from home. I was depressed about about losing my job. Now I have a lot of issues as well. I'm no saint. I'm very lazy and have to be asked to pick up after myself and take care of general chores. This was a major point of contention in our relationship. I would try to do better but would fall off eventually. I found a new job in March 2020, was in the day shift at first and things seemed great. We were able to see each other and were generally happy, or so I thought. After a few months I was forced into the night shift again. I was nervous about this because of the last time, but I wanted to move forward and start trusting her again. She was drinking a lot. She was struggling at work. She'd been going on like 3 years without an assistant and was feeling overwhelmed. At the beginning of the school year, she finally got an assistant, a 21-year-old dude. She seemed happy to finally have help, and I was happy for her. Now this kid didn't have a car and lived with his parents, so she would pick him up and drop him off at home at the end of the workday. Apparently, he had a lot of trouble with his parents, so she said she felt sorry for his home situation. She started spending time with him. Now I'm uncomfortable, but I didn't think she would hook up with what I basically saw as a troubled kid. He even came to my house once and shook his hand. I again voiced my concerns, and again she said nothing was happening. A few weeks ago, it's been crazy so I can't remember the exact dates, she told me that she thought she wanted a divorce. She said that I wasn't fixing my issues, that I still needed to be told to do everything, and that she didn't think I would change. We talked again. I asked if there was anyone else. She says no. I promised to work on my issues, and I was trying, doing everything without being told. Being proactive. A week after that I come home from work at 10 p.m. and she's not home. I start to get worried and call her. She's not picking up. I'm thinking something happened to her. She finally calls me back and tells me she's on the way home. She gets home drunk. I again asked her if anything was going on and she says no. I had a nagging feeling, so I did something I've never done before. I looked through her phone. I opened the messages and there they were. I had to do a double take because I thought I was looking at my own text. There were "I love you, I miss you," all that stuff. My body went cold, and I woke her up. She didn't try to deny it, says it's been going on for 2 months, and she says she cares about him. I'm in true disbelief. Maybe I'm an idiot, but despite this happening before, I just could not believe it. She agrees to break up with him. I listen in the call. I talk to him, and he threatens to kick my ass if he ever sees me. The next day I'm a wreck, so I call off work. Then she comes in and tells me that she thought about it and that she wants a divorce after all, that she doesn't want to hurt me anymore, that we're not compatible, that she doesn't feel seen. I break down. I'm not proud of this, but I basically beg her to reconsider and to go MC. She refuses. I later see her calling her AP to make sure he wasn't going to quit. At this point I call my family, and I leave to stay with my mother for Christmas 4 hours away. It was an awful Christmas. Even being surrounded by family, I felt alone and missed her. Now I'm back in town and staying with my brother and his family. She's still firm that she wants a divorce, so I guess that's it. I'm moving my stuff out of the house and I'm temporarily moving in with my brother. I still want her back despite all this. I couldn't imagine a life without her. She was my best friend. I don't know how I can keep going. I feel broken. I feel like I'm going crazy. Thank you for the kind words. We are mostly communicating about separation stuff. After reading through several posts, I see now that I am doing the pick-me dance. I haven't gotten tested for STIs, but I probably should since she admitted she had unprotected contact. I am currently in IC. I do have very low self-esteem. That has contributed to a lot of my problems. But this has woken me up to the fact that I need to start loving me. I just don't know how to do that. Guess the IC could help me with that. We don't have any kids or common property, separate bank accounts. So, the divorce should be easy. Only thing we have together are our pets, which I love dearly. It probably sounds silly to you guys that have kids, but I don't think I can abandon them. We agreed to split them, but I will always be there for those dogs and cats. Is that stupid? I'm clouded by all kinds of emotions right now, so I don't know if that sounds unreasonable. She did not do any IC following the first affair. Looking back, we both should have. I have been reading up on the 180. It does seem hard, but I'll give it my best shot. I've been looking into getting into some fitness class to get my mind off things. I will try to go no contact. We're still communicating through text, but I should move it to email only. Seeing her name in my contacts does kind of hurt still. I'm seeing my psychiatrist in Feb. I will bring up ADHD. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. I did forget to mention a significant detail. My Phil has been living with us for the past year. He owns the house we have been living in for the past 9 years but lived out of state until recently. He's a great guy. He was also repeatedly cheated on by wayward wife mother. They've been divorced for 17 years. He's the one that recommended me this forum and has been very supportive. My wife had always resented her mother for what she did, which is why I never thought she would do it to me. Twice no less. She saw how it affected her father. My Phil says that he can't believe the hypocrisy. I thank everyone for the advice. I wish I could say I followed it to a T. However, I had a very hard day yesterday. I was very emotional. Against my better judgment, I contacted her. Basically, I asked her what she was looking for in that relationship, why she was risking her job for some kid. She said she doesn't know what she wants. She said that she feels trapped at work with him and doesn't know how to break it up. Apparently, she asked him for space but hasn't broken it up completely. THD. Kid got kicked out of his house. She helped him find a place to stay. He is not even allowed to step foot in my Phil house, so I know they're not living together. She says that she has to ease him out of the relationship because he has no one. He's unstable and can't just abandon him, which I think it's BS. She hasn't even known him a year. She didn't swear vows to him. I know she's fence-sitting. I'm not waiting around. I'm filing for divorce here soon. I'm not looking to out her at her job. I'm not going to call HR and get her fired. She makes significantly less than I do. Unfortunately, teachers don't make much, and her AP makes even less. I know she's hurt me pretty bad, but I don't want to sink down to that level. This is hard, guys. I'm trying to stay strong. I go back to work tomorrow, and I don't know how I'm going to concentrate. This whole thing is all-consuming. So, I've started the divorce process even though it still feels wrong. God, these hurts. My father was murdered right outside my home when I was 8. And this hurts more than that. I barely survived that. I don't know if I can survive this. All you guys are so strong, and I feel so weak. I feel like if she reached out now and wanted to, or I would jump on it without even thinking because I'm broken too. I have a support system. I have family and friends that love me. Why do I still feel so alone? I feel like I'm starting to annoy them with my sadness and depression. Everyone, including my friends, family, and all the people here tell me this is not my fault, but the fact that she left me for a kid. It makes me feel worthless. Someone said that the only person that might love me less than her is me. They're right. Thank you all again for your advice. I've been coming back to this thread to read all your responses daily to remind myself to be strong. I'm not going to lie, some of the things that were said about her hurt to read, but I know they're probably true. I guess I was still holding on to the image I have of her. As flawed as she is and as much as she's hurt me, I still see someone I love. She doesn't love me though. I know that now. For some reason, mornings are the worst for me. It probably doesn't help that I'm sleeping on SHTTY air mattress that won't stay inflated. I did have an anxiety attack this afternoon before work. I almost called off, but I forced myself to get up and go in between all the pain. Today I had a couple hours of clarity. I actually felt like I was going to be okay for the first time since this whole ordeal. I have a coworker who's gone through this before and he's been taking me under his wing. Took me out to lunch and we talked, and I actually felt better. I know it's like a roller coaster and I'm going to feel the pain and anxiety in full force again. But I'll come back and read the thread again to give me some perspective. Thank you all again. Reading your stories and advice has helped more than I could have imagined. Yup, Reborn. I hear you about that anxiety. I'm taking med for that and for depression and they don't seem to be putting a dent in it. Unfortunately, today was one of those bad days. Spent my lunch break crying in my car. Man, this is draining me. I am exhausted but can't sleep. I bet she's sleeping great though. Damn, this is unfair. Nothing has changed for her. She's still living in that house. She has the pets, and she gets to work with her AP. Oh, and apparently some of her coworkers know about the. I bet she won't even face any consequences for her actions. She replaced me with a new shiny toy and threw me in the trash. I'm angry and sad. I think the withdrawal comparison is pretty accurate. I was, well, still am addicted to her. I'm trying to kick the habit though. My Phil said to take this 1 minute at a time if I have to. It's difficult to be in the present, but I am trying. Haha, crippling divorce, depression, starvation, that's pretty good. Yup, I can barely eat, and I've lost so much weight. People keep commenting on it. I don't have a gym membership, but I am working out. My brother has a bench press and some free weights, and I've been hitting that pretty regularly. I'm also looking into some BJJ or kickboxing of some sort to get some of the aggression that I have out. It's just kind of expensive, and I'm looking to save to maybe buy a house in the near future, and I'm getting a bed on Monday, so I'm looking forward to that. All in all, it's been a pretty hard week. One of my dogs, which actually belongs to wayward wife, might have cancer, so I've had to talk to her about that, which wrecked me. I wish I could be there for him. However, all our finances are separated, and the divorce is in progress. As much as it hurts, I'm trying to move forward. A punching bag would be great. I used to box when I was younger, so that would be right up my alley. I could technically afford to take some martial art classes. I just want to focus on saving. But I also know that it would be very beneficial to my mental health, so I'm still debating it. Other people have told me to fake it until I make it. Been trying that with little success. One of my coworkers actually gathered that I was getting divorced just by the look on my face, which actually gave me a pretty good chuckle. I guess I have resting divorce face. Comment: I see others notice the same thing I did, so please do talk to a health professional about testing for ADHD. You are not lazy. In fact, there's nothing wrong with you. And as a teacher of young children, your wayward wife should understand that better than most. ADHD is both a blessing and a curse. Getting diagnosed will lead to you finding the strategies to make it work for you instead of against you. And then you'll leave that cheater so far behind, her head will spin. You can't soar like an eagle if you're stuck with a turkey. Original poster. So, my wayward has ADHD and is bipolar as well. She also has family history with BPD. I don't know if she has that, but I've been wondering lately. Anyway, she can't sit still for very long. Could never watch a movie or show without her getting up to do something. She would get distracted very easily. She took med for it, but I could still see the ADHD at work. Meanwhile, I can sit and watch TV or play video games for hours. So, I thought that since I could sit and pay attention to something that I didn't have what she had. I don't know, maybe it affects people differently. Maybe I'm just a bad writer, haha. I do have trouble following up on stuff I say I'm going to do. I often forget about it, or I end up procrastinating. I'm a chronic procrastinator. I have a hard time noticing things that are often right in front of me. I have trouble with chores. Before I met her, my apartment was a total mess. I mostly attributed those things to the fact that I never had any real structure growing up, never really had to do chores, or was never made to. That and my chronic depression. I don't know, I always thought I was a lazy boss. I still feel guilty about this, as I think that it contributed to most of the problems in my marriage. Either way, I'll bring it up with my psychiatrist when I see them next month. I'm lucky to have a lot of support, not only from friends and family but from all of you. Honestly, I don't feel strong right now. I keep flip-flopping in my mind between being done with her and desperately wanting her to come out of her fog and come back. But I'm continuing with NC, unless it's about the divorce or the pets. I'm going to have to talk to her on Wednesday when our 13-year-old dog goes in for surgery. I'm pretty nervous about this. I'm worried about my dog and about having to talk to her. I'm resentful about that fact that I can't be there for him. I miss them all so much. But hey, I got a bed now, so that's a plus. Can't say this enough. Thank you all for all the support. Not having to wake up every couple hours to inflate that stupid air mattress is so nice. So, my dog went in for surgery this morning and all seems well so far, so I'm happy about that. My STBX contacted me last night about how nervous she was and all that. My first instinct was to comfort her, but I'm proud to say that I grey rocked her. It hurt to do, and I cried pretty hard, but I didn't show any emotion in the messages. I posted my story on Reddit as well. Pretty much everybody wants me to contact her HR, but I don't intend to do that, even after the divorce is final. I'm not seeking revenge. I just want to move on with my life. I don't want any more hate or drama in my life. Comment: if she is up to going out with 21-year-olds, there is nothing you can do. I know you don't want revenge, but the school needs to know what they are dealing with in her. However, it's your job to protect yourself first. If she loses her job, it could hurt you financially in divorce, but informing the school board of what happened after the divorce bother protects you and allows them to maintain accountability. As you said, she didn't care about blowing up your marriage and your life. Perhaps stop having so much compassion for her. She doesn't deserve it. You deserve the best, but now you have this young punk wanting to hurt you, and she is now having her second affair. Get an attorney, file, have a strong separation agreement, force her out of the house. either by separation agreement or threaten to expose her to the heavens if she doesn't leave. Look for full use and possession of the house until divorce. Lean on friends to the biggest 180 known to mankind and never look back. Look forward. You are young enough. This guy is 21. He has no fear or consequences, and he will move on to other women and she will pine for you back. Don't let that happen. Find a true lifetime partner who will respect you and not put you in danger or emasculate you. Keep in mind, she is not your friend or care about you at this point. The second that guy threatened you and she did nothing, it was her John Hancock on the signature line, "Good luck, man." Original poster. The house belongs to her father, so I can't kick her out. I'm living with my brother at the moment. I will save up and get a new place, hopefully in the next few months. Alimony is a non-issue since in my state you have to be married for 10 years to qualify. Even if she got fired, she wouldn't be getting alimony. I don't know, man. I know reporting her might be the right thing, but it feels wrong to do, at least for me. I kind of want to take the high road on this. Some people at her work already know, so it's only a matter of time before it gets out. I just don't want to be the one to pull the trigger, and she works at a hippie charter school, so I'm not sure if she would get fired. They're hurting for teachers pretty bad, so I honestly doubt they would fire her. It's not the compassion, even though I do still feel that I can't help but feel it. It's that I don't really want any more drama. I just want to move on from this. Plus, if she loses her job, then she wouldn't be able to help my Phil with stuff, and I really don't want to hurt his financial situation. He's a great dude, and as an infidelity survivor himself, he has been helping me a lot with this whole process. He's kind of the middleman in this whole thing. Comment, good play on the cold shoulder, bro. Keep that SHT up. Kudos on the good sleep too. Just a little something to keep in mind. I know y'all have a shared interest in the pets, but be wary about her using the pets as a catalyst to reach out just to create a dialogue, when it may not be necessary. Up until recently, she still had you as an open option. Don't let her have that. You'll probably see a different attitude from her when she knows you've turned your back on her. I got a pretty good feeling her puppy boyfriend situation is very volatile, and will probably be a pretty short-lived relationship anyways, but she still wants to keep you close enough to have a lifeline when SHT don't pan out. But you're doing good though. Just keep your chin up and keep moving. Original poster, Reborn. It's good to see you comment again, man. Yeah, the pet situation is kind of tricky, but last night when she was talking about our dog, I told her to stick to the facts and not tell me about how she's feeling, that she has someone else for emotional support now. You're right to think that the situation with her AP is volatile. He's not a good person, and I'm not just saying that because he's the OM. He's manipulative, unstable, and immature. I'm just going off the short convo I had with him where he threatened me and what my Phil has told me about him. Not really sure what she's thinking or why she's with this turd stain, but it's not my problem anymore. Comment, it always boggles mind when I learn about wives who risk their marriage, family, career, and the life they built for a person who doesn't deserve any of that. How come these people lose their common sense and not see this? Original poster, Lurking. Yeah, it's very confusing. I think this was an exit affair, but she says she loves this kid. So, I have no idea. I'm honestly kind of messed up about it. The fact that she blew up our marriage and potentially her career for that, I still can't help but feel, I don't know, inferior. Like, was I so bad that she thinks he's the better choice? Is the SX that much better? What is he offering that I wasn't? Is it because he's tall and blonde like the first AP and I'm not? Did she ever even find me attractive? These questions keep running through my mind. I don't know. My self-esteem has always been low, but now it's not even there. Makes me feel like garbage. Thank you all for the encouraging words. I'm trying to get in the mindset that this isn't my fault. I've been working out every day, eating healthy, and I started doing meditation, and honestly, it's helped a bit. I know I need to keep going to see the real benefits. But yeah, I have some work to do. I've already moved most of my stuff out of her father's house. I'm temporarily living with my brother and his family until I get back on my feet. I'm hoping to get my own place in the next few months. In terms of assets, she sent me most of the savings since I put most of the money in there. Other than that, and the animals, we don't have anything together. In regard to the pets, we already agreed that when I get my own place, I'm going to take one of the dogs and one of the cats, which we got while we were together. The other cat and dog she had before we met, so she's keeping those. So far, I've been going to visit the pets when she's not there. I haven't seen her since I left for the holidays. I don't know how the situation will look when I get my own place and she wants to come see them. I will have to think pretty hard about this. I know seeing her will not be good for me, but I also don't want to deprive her of seeing the pets that are going to leave with me. Maybe I'm being too nice. I'm not sure. So, I'm starting to get more angry than sad. I'm starting to hate her. I hate the AP with burning passion, but now those feelings are starting to surface for her as well. But I still love her too. I'm so confused. Is this good? Is this healthy? I don't want to be this angry. I'm angry that she seems happy with that little paws. I'm angry that I can't see my dogs and cats every day. I'm angry that I can't seem to afford a house even though I make decent money. And now I find out our contract with the Air Force at work won't be renewed next year. So now I have to find another job that probably won't pay as much. I'm livid at this situation. I don't want to live with this hate and anger in my heart, but here I am. All I feel is fury. So, I have a bit of an update regarding my situation. As I've mentioned before, my wayward wife lived with her father. I'm still in contact with him basically every day. I was talking to him yesterday, and he mentioned that he's kicking her out. Apparently, her behavior has gotten worse. She's brought AP over to the house and they got completely obliterated. He was throwing up in one of the bedrooms. She was passed out drunk on the living room floor. One of the stipulations was that she was to stop drinking, but she ignored that. Now she's getting kicked out, and my Phil said that if he sees AP on his property, he's calling the cops. I know it's not my problem anymore, but I can't help but worry about her. I know she needs to face consequences, but I don't take any pleasure in this. I thought that watching her face some sort of punishment might feel good, but I was wrong. Now I'm worried. Don't you guys worry, I'm not taking her back. It's just that this little boss AP is completely effing up her life. It hurts to know that the person I loved is going downhill and destroying everything for some little who is most likely using her. I'm still in NC with her, but I did contact the rest of her family and let them know the situation in hopes that they can help. Apparently, she hadn't told them anything other than we were getting divorced. Did you guys still worry about your wives even after separation? I know I can't help her. It's not my place anymore. I just hope she's okay. Yup, my Phil basically told me the same thing you're telling me. Guess I'll just watch the train wreck from afar and hope she comes out of this and gets her life together. Not for me because I'll be gone, but for her. Yeah, I know. Just hard to turn those feelings off, you know. But I'm trying. I'm going to keep looking out for myself. She's always had a major problem with alcohol. I do think she's an alcoholic, but not enough of an alcoholic that she would get DTs if she quit. At least not yet. Comment. I suggest that if you speak with your Phil in the future, that you avoid talking about your wife and ask him not to give you any updates about her. One of the main purposes of no contact is to detach yourself emotionally from her so you can move on with your life, which isn't possible if you're still fishing for and being fed information about her from other people. It's just that this little boss AP is completely effing up her life. It hurts to know that the person I loved is going downhill and destroying everything for some little who is most likely using her. I think the AP has more power and influence over your wife in your own mind than he does in real life. Based on what you've described, their relationship sounds mutually toxic and destructive. In fact, considering that she is older than AP and his supervisor at work, one could easily argue that abused her position by embarking on a sexual relationship with a younger, emotionally immature subordinate. If and when your wayward wife hits rock bottom, I doubt she will be left hanging out to dry. She has her father and the rest of her family to turn to for help and support. Original poster. I suggest that if you speak with your Phil in the future, that you avoid talking about your wife and ask him not to give you any updates about her. One of the main purposes of no contact is to detach yourself emotionally from her so you can move on with your life, which isn't possible if you're still fishing for and being fed information about her from other people. You are 100% correct. I thought about this last night. I need to stop asking. I need to completely let her go and let her face whatever consequences this brings by herself. I think the AP has more power and influence over your wife in your own mind than he does in real life. Based on what you've described, their relationship sounds mutually toxic and destructive. In fact, considering that she is older than AP and his supervisor at work, one could easily argue that abused her position by embarking on a sexual relationship with a younger, emotionally immature subordinate. Blue, again you are correct. I still have this image of her that won't let me see her for what she is. But she's a big girl, and even though she's making dumb choices, she's definitely not stupid. She knows that what she's doing is wrong on multiple levels, yet she's continuing down this self-destructive path. That being said, I'm still finding it very difficult to erase that image I have. The good memories, all that we went through together. I know she's not the person I thought she was. My brain knows that, but my heart has yet to catch up. Like all with an addiction, STBX will need to hit rock bottom before she helps herself. Phil kicking her out is a start. You being a gray rock is a big step as well. No engaging other than the D stuff. Yes, I believe she's a functional alcoholic. And unfortunately, we'll probably have to hit rock bottom to wake up. As far as gray rocking, I messed up today. She messaged me about the divorce just for some details. I was having a bad morning and let out some anger. Told her some things that have been on my mind. I told her I was thinking of something else. You said this wasn't a long con, but I've been thinking. The only reason you didn't leave me for first AP is because he didn't want to. I am almost positive that if he wanted to, you would have left me. I was always your second choice. You were just waiting to find someone else because you can't stand to be alone. I know it wasn't the right thing and I should have just sent her the cold details. But my emotions took over. Damn, I feel like I take one step forward and two steps back. Sometimes venting to the cheater is just solo worth it. It didn't feel worth it though. She replied by saying that she didn't plan this, that she was a bad partner, that she was weak and pathetic for not letting me know her feelings earlier, that she did love me in the way I was but that I deserved better. I just busted up crying. It hurt so much. How could she have loved me and done this? How could she have obliterated me like this? I feel like I'm back in square one. This is getting to be too much to bear. There is a book I often recommend when a BS is assessing whether a wife can change. How to Help Your Spouse Heal from Your Affair by Linda MacDonald. Thank you. I will take a look and give it a shot. If you don't have a lawyer and you're working on the logistics on your own, tell your wife to stop messaging you and to send you any questions she has about the divorce through email only. Yeah, neither of us have lawyers. I just told her today only contact me through email. I did change her name to just M on my phone for Monster, but changing it to no contact might be more helpful. Thank you again, Blue. Comment, change her name on your phone to don't do it. It is totally normal to worry about her, especially as she is displaying such self-destructive behavior. It would be strange if you didn't have some compassion for her. I'm still married to my wayward wife, so different take on being worried for her health. My wayward wife downed 600 milligrams of morphine. I saw her down the pills. I intervened and forced her to throw them up. I was so sad, angry, hurt, scared, all at the same time. I am still on guard for signs in my wayward wife as she had serious thoughts of self-deletion prior to taking action about a week after day. I'm really sorry you are going through this. Don't think about square one, Mitch. It's not square one. You made some progress. You lost a little ground. You can get it back. Don't buy into manipulation. You're in a vulnerable place and your feelings are trying to speak over your rationality. It happens to everybody. Just don't act on your feelings, buddy. Think. Give yourself some time to think things through. I know this SHT is agonizing, but this is where you grow. Really weigh things out. It's agonizing until it's not anymore. I can't give you advice on reconciliation because it's not the path I chose. I did listen to the people here, and I didn't feel like I had it in me to manage my resentment towards the wife day in and day out. Maybe it's for some people. What I can say is that you're an F-caking meat grinder right now. This is the worst part. You'll go up and down and upside down figuring out which way to go. I did. Most of us do. Walking away is terribly hard to do in the short game. But in the long term, I'm glad that I did. I'm happier alone than I was committed to a deceitful narcissist. It was just a long way here, but it was worth the trip. Hang in there, buddy. Original poster. I'm really sorry to hear about your wayward wife. Having struggled with self-deletion thoughts, I can relate. I can't say that it hasn't been on my mind lately, though not as much as the first couple weeks. I can't give you advice on reconciliation because it's not the path I chose. I did listen to the people here, and I didn't feel like I had it in me to manage my resentment towards the WS day in and day out. Maybe it's for some people. I think we're way past reconciliation at this point. I can't forgive her now, even if she came out of her fog and tried to come back, which I doubt will happen anytime soon. I'm trying to move forward. I'm working out, eating healthy, meditating every day. I've even gone out with friends a couple times. It just feels, I don't know, wrong, like I'm just going through the motions. I hope I get to the point you're at now, but it does feel a lot like a meat grinder at the moment. Comment, I've been where you are, and sometimes going through the motions is all we have. Fake it till you make it type thing. But a funny thing happens. Eventually, you'll find that you're having times of genuine joy and laughter again. It's like the scar is slowly healing over. There will be long stretches at a time when you don't think of her or what you have lost in your life. As far as being self-deletion, I think you don't want your life to end. You just want the pain to stop. It will slowly start to hurt less and less, especially if you are avoiding talking to her about her. Things do get better. Spring is on the way. Original poster. I don't know how much more of this I can take. It's affecting every aspect of my life. As far as self-deletion thoughts, I've struggled with them since I was a young teen. I've never felt like I was enough. I've always felt inferior to others. I think I have abandonment issues. Like I mentioned in another post, my father was murdered when I was 8 years old. I heard everything. One moment he was there, then after a hail of gunfire he was gone. All my friends in school stopped hanging out with me because of the circumstances regarding his murder. So, I was abandoned by them as well. I felt like I was somehow at fault. I retreated into my shell. No one would hang out with me for the entirety of elementary school.
I didn't actually make friends until high school.
I made a lot of progress regarding friends and my self-esteem while I was in the Air Force. Not quite enough though. I still hated myself. Now my wife abandoned me and created a new wound while also reopening old ones. So, I'm all messed up. Hey hi. I am trying though. I see so hopefully that helps.